have so many things. I want to talk to you about the military stuff, man. What about also the post-traumatic, the concussions, the head trauma, but what about also the trauma from war? And this is one that I've witnessed firsthand, from a close friend of mine from high school. I was just talking about this in the last podcast.
Yeah. There's so many things there, right? Like, I mean, one, think about these wars on the macro level, right? They were wars I don't think we needed to get into. I mean, and it sucks that we did. Like, we're learning more and more about the corrupt fucking machine that got us into Iraq and that kept us in Afghanistan well after we'd accomplished that mission we were supposed to accomplish.
It's the military industrial war complex. How do you feel about that? Okay, this is nice. This is a good little segue, bro. Because I always wonder, right? Yeah. Being a Marine, right? Ex-veteran, and then now, when you signed up, I'm sure you signed up thinking you were gonna, serve your country, and you know what I mean. But now looking back, do you feel like they did the oski woski, or like did you sign up?
Yeah, man. So like, talk about like why I joined the Marine Corps, right? I grew up without a dad, right? Had no male figure in my life. I wanted the opportunity to be around men who were going to show me the way, right? And the Marine Corps was like the epitome of that. You see them in the uniforms, the way they carry themselves and things like that, right? And I thought I was signing up to protect my country, protect the people I loved, and to serve, right? When you think about how we carried ourselves in these wars, right? Like 9/11 happens, right? We got an attack on our country, which is horrible, right? It's a horrible thing. Went into Afghanistan. We took the Taliban out of power, right? And then eventually killed Osama bin Laden years later, right? But then stayed there for a long time and then created this debacle of a withdrawal from there. But Iraq, I was sitting there, even at the time, I was in the Marine Corps, and I was like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? There's no evidence that Saddam Hussein had anything to do with 9/11. There's no evidence that he's planning an attack on America. There's no evidence that he's got weapons of mass destruction. So in 2003, I found myself in Iraq, right? And one of the things I was doing there at the time, I wasn't like at the front, I had a very good experience in Iraq, right? Like I didn't see a lot of horrible things or anything like that, but I was with a group of civilians that were going up and down the Euphrates River, essentially, and again, I don't know this because they wouldn't tell us, but they were searching for something, and I assume it was those weapons of mass destruction, right? That never materialized. And so, like, I get out because I came back from Iraq the day that Saddam Hussein was captured, right? Like, I remember landing in the United States, seeing him on TV, they're checking him, they're checking his teeth, and so I got out of the Marine Corps. But the next year, my unit went back and then went to Fallujah, and I lost friends there, right?
Me too.
I lost a lot of friends there. And it sucks, and I think about the fact that my friends are dead, that there's a whole generation of our best and brightest who went over there who are either mentally damaged, who are physically damaged, or who are dead because of what essentially was a lie. And when we think about a lot of people think the United States is an empire, right? The United States is an empire. Empires take over land and they extract resources from the land. We never made money off of the oil coming out of Iraq. How do we make our money? What is the military-industrial complex?
Making weapons.
The military-industrial complex is a machine that's making these weapons. And in order for it to survive, we have to be in a constant state of war. So, like, when we look at what's going on why were we in Afghanistan for years after Osama bin Laden was killed? Why did we set up shop there and stay there for so long? Why are we now funding a war in Ukraine against Russia? And people can talk whatever shit about me they want. Why are we getting ourselves closer to nuclear war for no good reason for our national security? Is because the machine needs money, right? That machine, the military-industrial complex. And when we talk about that, those are people who serve as generals, who serve as members of Congress, who serve as high-ranking bureaucrats in the United States government, who then go between government work and then go work at Raytheon, and then go sit on these boards and make millions and millions of dollars. And they feed each other. And for that machine to keep going, the only way that we have friggin' these companies that are manufacturing these weapons making money is by keeping ourselves in a state of constant war. And that's what the United States has been doing, you know. And I love my country, man. I'm patriotic as fuck. But, like, this isn't what I fought for. This is not what I signed up for the military. It's not why my friends gave their lives. It's not friggin', you know, it's freaking garbage that's keeping an elite alive. You know what I mean? You look at, like, the way things are right now internally, politically, they got us fighting over stupid shit.
I think it's a psyop, bro.
You know?
I think they got us fighting, man. I think they tried with racism. We conquered that. It was getting better. They tried to reignite it. You know what I'm saying? They did it with the pandemic. I don't even want to say no words here, but with the jab, you know what I'm saying? They did it with the jab. They tried to divide us. Yep. And now they're even trying to divide us down to men and women.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I don't believe anything of it here.
Yeah.
And I agree with you 100%, man.